Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second anniversary of Dissonant Waves.
2
Holy
years.
shit.
We were doing COVID podcasts before COVID was a thing.
Yes.
Oh, hooty hoo. Look who's two.
We may be
This
a shit
podcast.
independent podcast, but we were shit first.
Hell yeah.
We've
Praise
got
the
our
shit.
indie cred.
we were ahead of the curve, and we remain probably ahead of the curve. Who knows? What are podcasts even talking about these days?
Mhm.
Well, apparently we're not talking at all about all the guns.
Anyway, this will be an out of order episode. You'll be back to our previously scheduled stuff next time. This feed will populate. But for now, let us celebrate our second anniversary podcast.
We have no topics to talk about.
Yeah.
We do. We're just trying to segue our way into them naturally, and it's not succeeding.
I'm gonna force the first one, as I was gonna hint between you two before we started recording. So as I've probably mentioned a couple times over the past years, me and my brother are massive music collectors. Have probably in total between us, I think I have like 2,000 CDs there, and I think my brother's collection is around double that, maybe triple.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously, when it comes to like digital files as well, which we get, we buy a lot of Bandcamp Friday and stuff like that, and we try to just even get artists that we barely know. And I get a random message from literally 2 hours ago saying, "Hey, are you into Ty Segall?" And he was specifically asking if I had Slaughterhouse. He does not watch this podcast. He knows I do it, but he does not watch. Nor did he know that we covered Slaughterhouse.
It's a good album. What am I
Yeah.
telling you guys?
So Trix, apparently you got my brother's side. Well, it's because Darwa Didi, I think it is, if I said that right, is in GTA 5.
Yeah.
Well, if he's not listening to
That's
this
the story.
20-second minisode about Dissonant Waves, he can
He's
got
the
keep waiting.
shout out.
Shout out to Ritz's brother.
Yes.
To answer the question though, no, I don't. I only have Sleeper. I'm not that big into Ty Segall. But you know what I am big into?
Of Montreal.
I was hoping someone would at least like do that to another segue.
Okay. Let's see. How can we celebrate? Let's get some cake. Let's get some balloons. Let's get some streamers. Let's get some party favors and noisemakers going here.
I got some bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Poppin'.
Holy shit, we made it this far.
We'll continue to do it until we lose interest or die, I guess.
Yeah.
I just realized something.
Yes.
I should be using my sound pad. Because I set this up
you
properly.
busted that out in like one episode.
I know. I've now properly set this up to have some good effects on this. Like I've got the classic bottom shush. I hope that went in right. I've got the laugh and clapping. I don't know if that was loud enough to go in properly.
I remember why we didn't use the soundboard, because it's not loud enough.
Yeah, well, hopefully this one's loud enough.
Oh god.
Gotta stop that before the copyright strike.
I'll probably have to shorten that anyway.
Yeah, 20 seconds with that. We have the DJ stopping. Oh, sorry, that's the DJ stop sound effect. And then just some random Spider-Man free quotes.
Give me rent. Give me rent.
Get your rent when you fix this damn door!
That's my beautiful soundboard. Only 2 of them are really useful.
You need to like get some quotes from the podcast on there, like the famous incel quote.
I should set up a just like a separate, because you can do that. You can set up list files.
Yeah.
And I should just have one straight up for the podcast, and just my numpad is just straight up the soundpad. That would be great, and I would do that, and then I'll just never use soundpad again.
Yeah.
Best $6 I ever spent.
All right, what other quotes can we put onto there? Like what other things can we say that'll be perfect for that?
Probably me saying blender.
Blender.
Look, I just want to know if we're on a good streak of me not misgendering Tricks, Because I really fucked it up the first year. How did I go to second?
Yeah, we're doing pretty well this year.
Doing pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. I only really fucked up in the first episode, but
Because I think now it's still just me saying man, dude. Like I say this all in lads, and I for some reason I still think all those words are gendered.
It's one of those things where it's like I can tell it's not really malicious, so I don't really care too much.
Like I don't think any of us have ever tried it maliciously. I think none of us are hunt bags. You never know.
Yeah.
your audio is kind of choppy today, I will say, Rick.
Yeah, well, that's probably just netball with fucking trash in Australia.
Fair enough. All right, that's fine. We will deal with it. Figure it out.
And if we don't, the minisode
Indeed.
ends early, and it's a miniest minisode. Speaking
Almost-
of mini,
Subscribe to Mini-Me.
Yes.
fuck, there should be another one on the soundboard. Fuck, I should actually just have that in CS:GO games. So every time I play, just have a subscribe to Mini-Me button, and then I'll watch Pete get 5 more subscribers. I'm doing my part. I'm the world's best mod, man.
The mysterious benefactor will just
Indeed.
contribute to the Patreon and then blow up even more than he has been.
Yeah. Go watch the Just Cause 2 Java video.
Pretty good video.
Yeah, it's really good.
One of his best in recent years.
Very investigative, documentary style. Very good. It is worth noting that we've said it before, but he is the reason we have this podcast. So
Indeed.
we all met on his Discord server. Now here we are on our own Discord server that no one else can join, and no one else really wants to. We have fun.
Yeah, it's
Hell yeah.
we did have that one guest that didn't really end up working in our style.
I was
That was the one where I wasn't on it, wasn't it? That was the
That was the first BTS episode.
no, the second.
yeah.
Second?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because there was the minisode first. I think one of the first minisodes BTS.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the first minisode was BTS. This was the second minisode about BTS, and then we did BTS on the show, and then I lost interest in doing BTS again.
Which is
Yeah.
well, I think the last time that we did it, we did literally just the Japanese version of it, and it was boring as bad shit.
And they put out like 3
Oh,
more
yeah.
albums since then, so why would we continue? There's too much content. We don't enjoy it enough.
Yeah. We are not BTS stans.
I would love to have another guest or two on the podcast eventually if it works out for us. Like
Yeah.
I'm picturing like somebody that we like have on the pod, like if Lorenzo somehow made his way to us. That'd be a fun time. Mitchell.
That would be.
But other than that, I feel like we have our set ways now. We enjoy it that way. But I don't know. Let's see. We had some questions or some. What was your idea, Trix? Of like just some innocuous questions to kind of.
Yeah, just like prod us out, give us like ideas. Like my example question was like between like the 3 main like premium breakfast items, pancakes, French toast, and waffles. What would you choose?
Well, if I'm in a hurry, waffles, but pancakes.
French toast is pretty good, and waffles around the same. I'd say waffles over, but it has to be a waffle. And then pancakes. I mean, yeah, but I prefer. I guess I'd put if we're saying that we're not putting like average quality and it's all like top quality for each of them, waffles win, and then like French toast and pancakes are tied. If it's which one's like easiest to cook, French toast over pancakes.
If we're going like, I'm assuming like, it like just because I have like a set kind of rule for this sort of thing.
Okay.
Where like depending on the quality of the restaurant, waffles will either be the best thing or like the worst thing, but not like the worst thing. Like if you're at a really nice breakfast place, the French toast is going to be the best option. But if you're at like Denny's or something, the French toast is going to suck ass.
That's true. And then you have the places that offer like Dutch waffles or something like that too, where it's like extra special.
Yes.
gotta go for that because that's like a unique thing. Get that? So I don't know. I am not a big French toast person. I never have been.
That is fair enough. I haven't made it in a while. I prefer to like make it over like buying it out.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of work and a lot of like extra stuff to what is ultimately just breakfast and waffle or pancake will do.
That's fair enough.
All right.
All right.
What?
Is it also just it by itself, or is it with stuff on top?
However you like it.
Yeah, either fruit or like maple syrup.
Because the best way to do waffles is maple syrup. You can fruit's fine with it as well. Same with pancakes is pretty good. You got bit of butter, not too much. People overcrowd that shit with butter, or they put in too little. Same with the maple syrup on it. French toast top tier is jam.
I feel like syrup.
Not like
sometimes...
both. It's like even so like they're all good with maple syrup.
I feel like the syrup sometimes is overloaded the most with French toast. Personally, like, there's a lot of flavor happening.
I can't.
I prefer jam on French toast.
Interesting.
I
Never
can't
tried
do
that.
butter on like any breakfast food. It's like too rich for me.
Fair.
Yeah, people overload it.
And like every time I get like pancakes or something, I'm like, oh, this will be a good idea. I'll get pancakes. I'll get halfway through one pancake and immediately regret it.
Fair.
When I first started dating Ash, I think because I was trying to impress her with all the cooking I had, and then she decided she was gonna cook breakfast one day, and that's when I learned her favorite was pancakes for breakfast. She's now noticed that I've been talking about her. Yep, you remember at the start of this relationship, you were just eating pancakes at breakfast. Yeah, that was a good time. You're going to now, I know it. Anyway, we're having pancakes for breakfast.
Nice.
Nice.
That's the kind of thing I wake up and leaves. So good to sleep at 8 o'clock. Realize I don't actually have to go anywhere. I haven't had to go outside to work in a year now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I used like even during like the first COVID stuff, I at least like once a month try to get into the office. Mostly just so I could fuck off to the record store. That's it. That's like that's that.
Fair.
So what do we agree on?
All right.
What do we reckon the consensus is here?
I think French toast is the most popular, it's just not by me.
Yeah.
Then it seems to be waffles.
And yeah.
Everyone seems to like a good waffle, but pancakes are much more diverse or controversial.
If it's like a top quality pancake, they are good. Don't get me wrong. There's no bad answer. Top quality. I had to say, if it's top quality for all of them, waffle.
Yeah. What if we mixed it up and threw like a crepe in there?
And those are good for dessert, but not really for.
I mean, the crepe is a crepe.
Like, not one like.
I guess my family's always been poor enough that I never really consider a crepe a breakfast food. It's just like a dessert almost.
Well, you can get them full of like eggs, cheese, and sausage.
Almost
I
like,
guess.
Almost like a blintz.
I'm not really that type of. Because I know there's like places like Pancakes, Rocks, and stuff, which do all those savory meals, crepes, the savory shit. But I don't know. I don't like crepes like that. It's dessert stuff. And granted, I don't have crepes. I don't have crepes that much. I guess you can.
I think one of the best waffles I ever had was actually a savory waffle. It was like a cornbread waffle, like made out of like just like cornbread batter.
Oh. I
Mm.
think the best waffle I ever had was like a Dutch apple Dutch waffle thing going on. One of those fucking Dutch oven things that was really fucking good.
Dutch babies or
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. Really good shit.
those are pretty ridiculous.
There's a lot of waffle. Then there wasn't because I ate all of it.
As is the way. If you're not falling asleep after waking up after eating a giant breakfast, are you even living?
Hell yeah. Alright. I think we come to a consensus on that. I would like to propose a question of what are your top groups you've found because of this podcast? Like top 10, top 5, I don't know.
Let's put in a rule that we can't say Weekend Run Club this time.
Weekend Run Club's now a given.
Yeah. I think. What did we say last time? I think Dominic, you said. I think you two. I don't know if you said it. I think Dominic, you said Middle East already last year.
Yeah, I said Middle East, probably Petite League.
Yeah, I think we can say. So we'll say Petite League. I've come around on them. Joy Rider. I was going to mention that again, but I think we can say
Yeah,
those are kind of.
Joyrider banger of an album.
Bad for Fun, good B-side single. So yeah, those three are probably out now. As like those are the established canon really of like Dissonant Waves. But beyond
I feel like we is an artist that's really only been discovered for you two in the past year as well. That one
Yeah.
should be. It depends if you two consider it a favorite though.
not yet. I
I
did like
enjoy
the
some
Mollusk.
Ween. Yeah.
I just didn't connect to Ween like I would connect to like a Paranol though. So
Yeah, I had a feeling you were gonna mention that one.
fucking Paranol, that fucking album is still I think my favorite of the year so far.
And
Yeah,
should
that thing rips
we
fucking
also
hard.
say the other one which is about to create the biggest connection podcast history,
Home
which
is
actually
Where.
was the week after as well.
Also, Home is Where did not win that week.
Yeah, it came in second. But yeah, I'm
What did
going
it
out
come
to
in?
Chicago.
What did it come in second to? Was Farm
Ca-
Steven?
Carrie and Lowell, yeah.
Yeah, well that's
Yeah.
fair.
Like I mean, I think objectively that's probably pretty correct, but like we care about Home is Where much more.
It's like Middle East versus Hotel Way, where it's like, well, yeah, there was a clear winner, but that second one was still pretty.
Right, but we're not really talking about Carrie and Lowell after the fact, like we talked about Aeroplane and According to the Middle East.
Yeah. Well, Carrie and Lowell's not really like this vivid album that you love talking.
Like I think we talk about A Crow Looked at Me more than we talk about Carrie and Lowell.
Potentially, I mean,
Yeah.
I think I prefer A Crow Looked at Me to Carrie and Lowell.
It's
But A Crow
more...
Looked at Me is one of the most devastating albums I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not listened to it in kind of like my current state where just everything makes me cry now because like I know I'm just gonna like start violently sobbing like I did when listening to Carrie and Lowell.
What do you think about Gaze?
Think about what? Cut out.
Oh, there's
Gaze?
the Gay Swan. It's an old
Oh
joke.
god.
It was a
The
Reddit post.
Swans can be gay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
I was making so many jokes to that when I was like just getting used to it. I'm like, oh, I'm like that guy's wife.
Man, Reddit is mostly a pile of shit. Sometimes that.
Yeah, sometimes there's good stuff on Reddit, like
Yeah.
the Gay Swan.
I would say probably
'Cause
my... Go ahead.
I was only just gonna say it's like it does feel like a lot of my the stuff that I've discovered here, I discovered before the podcast. It's kind of just been my issue in trying to figure it. So like I'm scrolling up to see. That was all. You can go back on, Dominic.
Well, I just don't...
I'll say
Go ahead.
I will say Janelle Monae. I have really listened to a ton of Janelle Monae since we did like the Minisode last October of just going through all of their stuff.
Yeah, we kind of completed a circle on that, and we will very soon come back to Janelle Monae once again. But False Priest can only come so soon.
Yes.
Let's see.
So I just say our last one of these minisodes was around August 8th last year. Is obviously the date, but it would have been a really similar date, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually think then scrolling up, two of my favorite discoveries from it were right after that. Then with Flying Lotus and Until the Cry Comes, sorry.
Yeah.
And Sliff's Umon.
Until
Yeah,
the Cry
Sliff.
Comes and Slift, I think, were really choice options. Because also right after that, we had
Definitely.
Microphones in 2020, which I really, really loved. Like
Yeah.
the Glow Part 2 had just happened when we did the first anniversary. Oh man, that was a time.
The Elverum saga, that was great.
Yeah, that was a great time.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
I don't know. What would you say your favorite discoveries? I guess it's really like
My what discoveries?
from this podcast.
My favorite discoveries still? I mean, there's a lot of like stuff like let me phrase it in terms of my favorite recent episodes. I think are like
Yeah.
highlights for me, like even if it's not like something I listen to a bunch, but I really like the week we did the Judgment Night soundtrack because that was such a weird idea.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can respect that.
And like that came right after we did the whole Farrah Abraham saga thing.
Yeah,
that-
with fucking
Best album
Dee Dee
of all time.
Ramone.
We did the D.D. King special, like the whole fucking just because that was like an extended listening period we had because of scheduling, I think. So that was like 2 weeks of listening to that. That was a whole
Let me
mood.
tell you, that was a long 2 weeks.
It was.
It was the greatest album of all time, Emily Montes, self-titled.
Emily Montes, Emily
Indeed.
Montes.
I don't think I've made Tricks any more uncomfortable than I have with that album.
Yeah, I did not feel comfortable critiquing that album at all.
And I understand that, and I said what I felt about that album, and I still stick to what I felt about that album.
I'm not putting any more critiques or anything about it.
Well, other than that, I really love the time like Paranol. That whole thing was really fun. But I also really liked that we watched All About Lily Chocho. Well,
Lily
Shushu.
Dice Des. Lily. You gotta stop me before I sing the whole.
Oh, you were singing the song. Okay, but
Yeah, that's how Beautiful World starts.
yes, it is. I couldn't tell what you were trying to do because you were breaking up so much.
Ah, my bad. I think it's because I'm like talking soft as well.
But yeah, that whole watching that movie and trying to do that within the week, it's really fun. And like it was such a long
And-
movie and such
Yeah,
like a whole experience.
I was kind of unable to watch it. So apologies in advance. Apologies for that.
In advance. Tricks, it's been a while.
It's been a couple months.
I'm kind of tired right now, and I'm a bit fried today, but I'm gonna make it through the episode.
You like to hear it. I also personally really like the Lucas Kukas stuff that I did.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. It was a fun look at like the scene that you kind of musical scene you were involved in.
Yeah, as a high schooler. And I do plan to continue doing that into the next year of like just kind of expanding outward from there of like other acts and things that were like running like around that time or like going back to Beach Bunny even because like Beach Bunny, apparently was around my local scene and I just didn't pay attention at all.
I got
actually,
kind of a similar themed episode coming up that's just kind of chaotic and all over the place.
I feel like Beach Bunny is the act that I really only got into when we did it on this podcast, and I enjoy it way more than you do.
That is a very rare kind of occurrence, but I do like that exists.
Yeah,
I still have criticisms of me about Honeymoon, some which are shared, like Miss California's boring and kind of shit song. Dream Boy is also, not that great. But like songs like Promises, Cuffing Season, and Cloud 9 are fantastic.
yeah.
Obviously, I think I put Promises at number 13 on my top 100 last year.
But yeah, there's plenty to cover. The more like I just talking to a friend, we reconnected a week or two ago, and he just was telling me about all these bands he was in, and we were like vibing about Skeletubbies and Vinegar Kids for a second there, and then it's like, oh well, you were in a few bands around that time. I could probably do an episode about one of your albums or EPs or something. So I can squeeze some of that in. That'll be interesting.
I know no one
Definitely.
who's in a band, so
It's the thing of like looking back is like there were a lot of fucking in my high school or like adjacent to my high school.
okay. You live in Chicago. What else is there to do?
It's like an hour outside of it. It's a fucking suburbs. It's rich kids. Like I guess that would
So
make
there's
more
even
sense.
there's even less to do.
I guess I don't know. I guess I just like it's New York. You think New York would have the same thing, or it's like you think because Australia is such a strong music scene, there would be something going on there too.
No, we have a huge scene. My area. It's just a bunch of cunts.
And
So-
I still live in kind of the middle of nowhere, so
So I could really just like I could probably spend at least another year, if not more, kind of slowly expanding that circle.
Definitely, that'd be cool.
And then we'll just have it where it's like we're gonna meet these people eventually. We're gonna just have a whole scene. Tricks, you're gonna be moving closer. We'll just have a whole network of
Yeah.
things happening.
Yeah,
It all starts when we go to see Home is Where in November.
yeah, which I'm definitely looking forward to.
I just
See,
hope
the best part is that the actual main act for that gig is Glass Beach as well. So they're only actually a support act. Glass Beach are fucking fantastic.
I would like to cover Glass Beach before we go.
Well,
Yeah,
if it makes it easier to pick one album, they only have one.
I know I was doing some research, and
Yeah,
that is
it's
definitely
literally called. Yeah, it's literally called the first Glass.
yeah. So that
Good
might
album,
be a
though.
choice that we do.
I think I
But-
put Neon Glow top 100 of 2019 for those who want a fun fact about my my listening habits.
I just hope that in a couple months' time we're not
that is a
like
fun fact.
that we can go to this concert and it'll be still a thing.
Yeah, let's hope
I
that
hope for
COVID
you too,
doesn't.
though.
kind of-
If it doesn't happen or it gets delayed, we can always still meet up and do something else. Have like a fun little
Yeah,
Look,
thing.
I'm
Dude.
personally just really mad because Vivid got cancelled. And the big act that I was going to see with Vivid was King Gizzard.
Wow.
And now I've seen King Gizzard times, not just about King Gizzard. Seeing it's what they were going to goddamn play there, and it was Festa Rat's Nest in full.
That's cool.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
rip.
Also, I need to reiterate how much I really like Here Comes the Cowboy again.
Yeah, that is a good album.
And I still stand by it being better than Infest the Rat's Nest.
I will forever disagree. I think it's the worst take, to be honest.
Well, related to that, what is some stuff you're thinking about putting on your top 100 songs that we've covered on the podcast? I know we talked about Joyrider, we've talked about songs like Beautiful World or other stuff. Probably like we're probably putting what's that one song from Home is Where?
Sea cucumber membrane. Or...
Yes.
No, it would be long.
You cut out there, what?
It would be long distance joint trends for me.
Okay, yeah.
For home
That's
as
fine.
well.
Yeah,
Either that or assisted hurricane. Like I love the screamo that they go in Great Membrane, but if it's not long distance, assisted hurricane.
I really like
Pops are flammable.
I really like L. Ron Hubbard was way cool still.
Yep.
Like that whole song's a mood to me.
The past is never ending.
It's such a great. It's a short song, but like the party from Vinegar Kids, it's really well constructed and it just makes an impression even if it's a minute and a half. But what else do you have going on there?
In Home is Where, you mean, or
like from your top songs of the year from what we listened to on the podcast?
from what we've listened to on the podcast. So let's take the songs that I've actually put up already considered as like I'll mention them. Just won't go too deep. The ones that I've considered to be my favorite songs of the year. So that's Naked, Sunglasses, fucking hell, Beautiful World, and She Sacramento. There were, you know what? I can just go through all the 20 ones that were done. I got
Yeah.
no problem doing that. First one we did. The first one I did actually, which counts as 2021, despite it being 20, but that's just how my cycles work, is Avalanche's Vine Chord. That was the one with MGMT and Johnny Marr. Just a catchy as fuck tune.
It feels like we did that forever ago, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Admittedly, the album hasn't stuck with what I hoped and thought it would. It's still a good album, but I don't think it's going to be up there as my favorite album of the year, as I thought it was going to be.
I still really like Oh the Sun.
Buzzcut and Count on Me from Brockhampton Roadrunner New Light, New Machine. Specifically Buzzcut, which take away the fucking crazy of that video. Danny Brown is still probably the most exciting rapper out there. It was great to see him collab on this tune. Just an absolute banger of a track. I love just like all the kind of moments that goes into it. Merlin screaming out, look at the sky, and then just out of nowhere just drops the N-word again. What does God mean to you? In this just whole screaming voice. It's so surreal. And it's like one of my favorite kind of outros to songs here.
Fair.
I'll give it up to OK Cool as well. 5-finger exploding heart technique.
Nice.
That
Yeah,
one.
okay, cool was a fun kind of like discovery that we didn't realize was just basically Weekend Run Club.
Well, I didn't. Ritz did.
I knew the whole time it was Weekend Run Club.
To think I would have chosen, if I hadn't made that last minute decision, I would have paired Alex Boniello with Dear Man Down.
Ooh.
I mean, I really only listened to Vibe off Dear Man Down, and I feel like the cover of Dancing on My Own that Mitchell did with Cameron Lee on that compilation
Yeah.
is more enjoyable, but it's like the anything off Dear Man Down. It's debating between that and Vibe Milk though. But it's like, whilst it's a good cover, it's not a fantastic, mind blowing cover. I feel like
Sure.
the biggest problem with Mitchell J, just as a solo artist, he's got a good voice. That's pretty much about it. The songs just aren't interesting outside Vibe Milk.
Yeah, it's still early in the
Mhm.
career to like continue finding that sound and like what works. Like we said, that whole EP was a DIY project, so I still got to give it up for that.
Genesis are
Definitely.
roots Gold Chains and song about fishing, specifically with Gold Chains, which goddamn the verses on that are fantastic. I feel like Genesis are roots kind of like a big surprise to YouTube, and we haven't really talked about it after it happened.
The album really hasn't stuck with me as much as the other Black Dog has just kept in my rotation.
Other Black Dog is fantastic.
Yes. I think I feel more about Takei Maidza, is that how you pronounce it? Maidza?
Takai Mas,
Yeah, I feel like I feel more strongly about her stuff than I feel like about Genesis in a
TK
way.
Mas. Say
Like,
it anyway.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if the album Smiling with No Teeth is going to be higher overall than DK in the end, but like I really like those EPs. Those stick with me more.
Adult Mom Sober, I think it's probably the best of that album. Where
I just got that on.
where they get
I got that on vinyl the other day.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it, so it was like, hey, here's it for less than $20 or something. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's
and I'm-
only really less than $20 if you're in the US, but thankfully for you,
Yeah.
Tricks, that's where you are. That's
Yeah.
like the first time anyone's ever said thankfully you live in the US.
And then we have the
Cool,
albums.
yeah.
We have the albums that like some of us really like and some of us really don't. Like Shaky Graves is still really up
Yeah.
there for me.
Yeah, that is a fun album, and I will listen to it quite often.
Like quality.
The one I was gonna say quickly because I'm gonna rail Shaky Graves. The one big one I haven't talked about for best tracks of the year, King Gizzard's Interior.
Butterfly 3000.
Yep.
Pretty interesting.
Yep.
I did buy it
Digitally or physically?
digitally.
I've got it. I bought it digitally. Loved it. Vinyl.
I don't know. We'll see if I get a vinyl or CD or something. I'm open to it, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't have any Giz on vinyl yet.
But nah, Interior People such a fucking tune. Yeah.
It's like it's like we
People.
like the Shaky Graves and you did not, whereas
Yeah.
Strix really likes Tristan still, and we do not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say the best kind of like fine year for 2021 albums that's probably been brought up. That wasn't from me. I'm gonna probably say is Left at London. This Is a Protest for Your Heart has been staying in my playlist.
It's a good album. Like I remember
I just fucking love the outro to that song. It fucking comes with the kind of like rock bass distortion.
Yeah. Like that was born directly from YouTube being like, okay, dude, you have to actually like fucking listen to your shit before you put it on this podcast. So I was just shopping around for like an album to throw on for 2021, and it's like, this sounds really good right away. I really like this.
Yeah. It wasn't the problem wasn't just like that you didn't listen to your stuff before the podcast, because we've done that multiple times as well. I've done that with like Bag Raiders, I remember was a failure.
I did
wish
it
it
this
happened?
week.
Yeah.
I still
The
like
problem
some
was
Bag
just
Raider
that you
songs.
kept listening. You kept listening to album not listening to album constantly that turned out to be shit.
Yeah.
I think it was the big one being that Alex Boniello. That was it. This was like after that. No, sorry. You've had your chance.
And that's fair. Like I deserved it. I still don't regret putting on the podcast because we have to have a bottom somewhere.
No regrets ever.
Yeah.
which is why I'm going to say the N.
Mm,
Of course,
calm down,
I'm
Tism.
I'm not an idiot.
Just call you Tism as just like an Australian slur, just because
Yeah.
y'all are Tisms.
Yeah.
Yeah, try harder next time.
Ugh.
I was honestly surprised at the amount of praise I got from one of you on Fly Rivers.
Gardens is a great album. Clarkson's
Mm.
a really great song. That song's probably gonna remain in my rotation for a while.
I love Clarkson, but like the thing that's great about it is because I thought when this album was released, Tracks was gonna be someone who was stuck in a rotation, and now it's been overshadowed by Breakfast Clarkson.
Yeah, I also definitely keep listening to it and like seeing where a lot of that stuff plays eventually. But like now that I've started doing like a whole playlist in concurrent with this podcast, I think I threw Clarkson on there as like a representation of that episode.
And
Mhm.
I haven't listened to Lana Ray or La Bouquet yet, but I will put out some positives from Squid's album because there are some absolute tunes of that one as well. I love
Yeah.
GSK and Narrator.
I really like having 2 weeks to think about those albums because I have no idea which one I like more than the others. Like it's a great week for albums that
Yeah.
have flaws, have good qualities, and are just like kind of oddball choices.
Yeah.
All right, let's
talk
move
about that
on
later.
to a final topic now. We've actually we're stuck on that one for a while.
Yeah.
So, what do we think? What do we want to do to the last topic? Do we want to do expectations for the year, like what are our most anticipated to come out? We want to go into a different topic that someone could probably suggest because bad to suggest a topic.
Like I still have a lot of ideas I'd like to do before the year ends. It's just a matter of making sure we do enough of them for me to be happy, you know?
Mm.
Like I still have to
Yeah,
finish
I still
my...
got the.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
I
was
was gonna
saying,
say I still have my Doom Metal Saga.
yeah, I would like to see more of that before the year ends. I still have to finish my Montreal journey through Georgie Fruit stuff. We're kind of like halfway through, almost. I still... Was it?
No, sorry. I'm talking to myself.
I still want to do the White Album episode, which we might be moving up to a sooner date.
Mm.
We keep talking about doing the episode where Trix eats a steak and we listen to the Smiths and JPEG Mafia.
Indeed.
Yeah, I've been discovering new artists I wanted to feature on the podcast and like kind of like changing my expectations based on that. I don't know. There's so much I still want to do that I'm excited that like this project is still happening in a way because it's like I still have a lot of ideas and a lot of stuff I want to cover.
I can just scroll down right now and just tell you all the 2021 albums I haven't done.
Yeah.
And I'm considering of doing. I feel like I'm just gonna mention them now because I have no idea how many of them I'm actually gonna do, and I'm gonna just kind of like mention like, hey, these albums are just good. So I'm gonna spend 2 minutes here.
Okay.
And not gonna go in depth about them. You're just gonna have to figure out why they're good for you.
I'm gonna guess the top of the list is Black Midi.
No, I'm starting from A. Arlo Park's Collapsed Sunbeam is one of them, and then yes, we got Black Midi's Cavalcade. Big Scary's Daisy is another one that I have been meaning to do. There's this band called Bread Club that's local talent artist. They have a EP that I think you're probably covering. Citizens Life in Your Glass World was a fun emo dance punk record. Yeah, Crowded House had an album. I haven't actually listened to the Crowded House one, but probably you could have picked that one up. Death from Above, 1979. New album, Lovers, was actually fun. Dirty Nils Fuck Art, which I think Dominic was once considering and choosing.
I was. It's still kind of like an option if you know.
Yeah. Frat Mouse Plywood, which I thought was better than Teat League at the start of the year, but it's kind of switched for me at this moment. Teat League's Joyrider has stuck with me more than I thought it was going to.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Japanese Breakfast's album is good. Jeff Rosenstock's Scar version of No Dream. Free everyone to do Scar on this podcast. New Jungle Giants one, which isn't as good as Cry at Ferocity, but album.
Sure.
We have
It's been
other
popping
Genghis.
up in my. You should listen to this queue on YouTube Music.
we had other King Gizzard albums that we could have gone at. Lucy Dawkins' home video is actually this one I will talk about for like 5 seconds because there's a song on it which isn't even my favorite off it, but it's called Please Stay, and it sounds like when I first heard it I thought it was just like this kind of whole emotional don't leave me, and it kind of is. It's actually this kind of like really well saying like don't self song. Just wanted to put that one out there because it's been on my rotation. It's actually been like very, I don't know. It's been one of those weird ones where it's like it's just her and a guitar for
Fair.
most of the song, and it's actually just been in my rotation quite a bit. It's rare that songs that are so minimalistic to that level stay in my rotation that heavily.
We should just do an episode where you choose to do that compilation album that Weekend Run Club was on, and I'll do Through the Soil. Trix will do something else.
You mean the Out Loud Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one with both Jay and OK Cool were on, which is it's just alright. They were the highlights.
Sure.
Matt Berry from the IT Crowds put out a psychedelic album. Middle Kids had a great album out this year. Nina Geraci put out a deluxe version of an EP this year. Origami Angel, probably one of the best emo albums of this year with Gami Gang, which that one I'll again talk about for 2 seconds. It starts off with 30-second trap music that just flows perfectly into an emo drop. It's the dumbest start to an album here, but fuck, I love it.
Tune Yard's new album, Sketchy. Definitely something I want to cover at some point. Pretty good.
I think I promised to do psychedelic porn comments and never did.
You did?
Yeah, you've been promising them for a while.
I did them at the start of this year, just at the 2021 album.
Yeah.
Yeah, and can you believe that was our first episode with Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, Mike Kroll and Sarah Vaughn?
Well, Tropical Fuckstorm have an album out this year as well, and I might do that before I do a Laughing Definite.
Yeah, you're never going to choose Tropical Fuckstorm. Fuck off.
I promise one day.
There's a new Ty Segal album that came out last week I might end up doing soon.
It's like Trix choosing Man or Astro Man. You're never going to fucking do it. I've accepted that now.
Oh no, I have them lined up for a specific time, and I had them lined up for a specific time last year. They're a very Halloweeny band.
Fuck you, Dominic. I'm picking Tones and I now just spite you.
You act like I didn't want this. I did want you to do that at some point. It's okay.
You think you want it, but you don't. Now, I'm gonna put out this kind of this thing about Tones and I, and I'm not gonna do a lot of the criticisms which a lot of people have done, which is relating. Some people have made comments about her. Those types of things, fuck off. Never available. This criticism, however, it comes to a very specific thing, and probably her record label have done. And you will notice that Welcome to the Madhouse has a deluxe version out. Don't know if Spotify where you actually get to it, but on stuff like iTunes stuff, it is. And that deluxe version is her EP, which had all of her big hits on it, including Dance, the 2.3 billion streams on it. And because they released that deluxe version, it's the same thing when The Weeknd released the compilation. It counts all the streams that have already been done on that, so when it's released, it's considered this album that's already had all these streams first week, and it's record-breaking for that example.
That's bullshit.
But here's the weird thing now, when we go into her actual album. Her album has failed on Spotify at least. Because yes, there are songs like Fly Away, which has 158 million streams. Those were all from last. That was when it was a single. And then the other two singles, Won't Sleep and Cloudy Day. Won't Sleep was the first of those two, has 9 million. And Cloudy Day has 15. These are still pretty low. Now remind, that's 3 songs off a 14-song album. There's one song that wasn't a single off this album, which just barely got into, hasn't got into 4 million yet, but about, that's the amount of streams that it has. So that's 4 of those songs.
Yeah.
Now, what you're gonna hear here is gonna be a big surprise when you have that amount of stream for the rest. But of the 10 remaining songs, none of them even gets 500,000. That is incredibly low for an artist that's apparently supposed to number in the top 100 Well, not at the moment. Number 134 in the world. That is still supposedly a very high number to be at. But all those streams go to dance. None of them have gone to anything of this album.
That's incredible.
And this is something that has kind of followed on. So for somebody who's now claiming that this album is one of the highest streaming albums of all time now, the actual album itself hasn't fucking...
Yeah, like fucking Nazareth has more streams than that shit.
Yeah. And that's a big
Yeah.
criticism when you do this deluxe shit. It's like, no, yes, you had a hit. Yeah, that hit, getting a hit's impressive. 2.3 billion streams is not something to fucking sneeze at. But the album didn't do well. The song did well, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's a big criticism I have about it, and that's one of the other...
It's okay. When you choose Tones and I to cover for this year,
It'll go up to 500,000.
I also have an album waiting to drop that I know you're probably not gonna like. But I do want to cover anyway. Maybe a lot.
When does Nickelback come out with a new album?
Back to...
The album I have in mind is not a 2021, so we don't have to do it during 2021. But like, it's one album that aligns with my interests significantly, and I could not picture myself not choosing that album at some point.
All right.
I'm
intrigued.
I just don't know how well it's gonna be received.
I did wrap up on that part as well. When I just go with the release date and everything, just to go with how long it's been out, because this doesn't come out on Friday. This came out 6th of July, so that is at this point, well, around 3 weeks.
It's a month.
Yeah, it's nearing a month.
Well, that's 6th of July.
And
it's the 8th of
16th of July.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were breaking up.
Yeah, no. And supposedly she has 2.8 million followers on Spotify and 22.2 million monthly listeners. And despite that, that's how low the stream.
That's incredible.
That's really poor. She has 405,000 listen in Sydney alone per month, and that doesn't even cover a majority of the stream here. It's weird because, like, I'm not a fan of Dance Monkey. I'm sure if you've heard Dance, probably not a fan of it. It's one of the most annoying hits that's probably come out.
I don't know if I've
But
heard
all the
it.
streams go there. I don't think I've ever seen this happen for an artist like this in this day and age. Like, yeah, one hit wonders, obviously, thing back in the day, people put out the big hit and stuff like that. But in the age of streaming, this is very rare. A reminder, she only put out Dance Monkey 2 years ago, not even. So it's not like she's had the time to fade into.
Plus, the album has gotten pretty poor reviews overall, from what I understand.
I think Fantano gave it the worst score he's ever given an album. I don't have a cover. That's kind of why I'm mentioning it now. I haven't personally the album outside a couple. I thought "Won't Sleep" was not a good song, but at least showed some kind of sign of trying to do something different. "Fly Away" was just pretentious and annoying. I haven't really listened to anything. I've listened to "Cloudy Day" over Channel 7 ads.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I
From what I've heard, apparently production is shit.
I will say, people are only going to hear half of what you say anyway, because it's so fucking spotty this week. I'm glad we're not doing a full episode in a way, because this audio quality is really something.
I think with that anyway, it's about time to wrap this up because I'm too mad. I'm too mad now.
Well, the wrap up is that I still have a lot of stuff I want to cover, and I think I'll still have a lot of stuff I want to cover for a while. I'm really happy about that.
Yeah,
like
that was a good thing to have with this podcast.
There's a whole web of stuff that I just want to weave into everything we talked about so far. You know, I'm very excited to keep building this quilt.
And get ready for next cover. Welcome to the Madhouse.
I mean, in the chronology of this recording, next week, our next episode recording is going to be the Lana Del Rey, Squid, and La Bouquet and Oliver Kidd stuff.
Which I'm excited for talking about Squid.
And I'm excited just to figure out what the fuck I really like from this week. It's all just still, like, I don't know yet.
But until then, I have /Callan/Tricks. That's right. I do identity theft now. I have been
Oh
on
shit.
my website, Riddle for Kids, github.io. I also have a YouTube channel that's in the description below. I also release stuff on Steam, and by stuff, I mean one game. Please play it. Please give it a positive review. That way Steam will say it's an actual game, and I can put achievements on my profile.
Hell yeah.
That is all.
I have been Tricks. You can catch me on Twitter at procrastronaut_. It's like procrastinating astronaut. I also have a bot account I set up, and I'm setting up another bot account that I'm currently like getting stuff put together for it. So look forward to that. It's video game related.
And I'm Dominic. You can catch me on Twitter at DACICHOSKI. I've been writing for Tilting Windows Studios in the past. Yada 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 yada. Dissonant Waves.space is our website. You can find us on Twitter at Dissonant Waves. You know that we're just a few months away from potentially meeting up to go see Home is Where, Tricks and I. So I'm just excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
If that ends up not happening because of COVID, we can still do something. I'm sure. It's just a matter of maybe we can like engineer our own like local scene get together where we meet up with Mitchell and Lucas and everybody.
Yeah.
Don't actually promise anything, but I feel like there's a lot of potential still coming here. Like this might lead to something big. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway,
because I'm moving to the Midwest, so it's gonna be a real big adventure.
This week when Trix gets into Midwest emo.
The American football starts coming out. Be a good time. Start listening to the Weekend by Modern Baseball. You'll be covering that too.
That's such a weak Modern Baseball track to get into though. Your Graduation, Wedding Singer, Rock Bottom. Yeah, okay. Fuck.
I only mentioned it because Skeletubbies covered it. Anyway,
I know.
That'll do it for us.
Your Graduation track.
Sure.
I just want to point out, it's been days on years of me of thinking about you every day, sometimes for hours, sometimes in passing. I'm not gonna